The countdown is on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Breaking Chains, personal growth class.
So we are back after that break. Let's get into it. So, what are values? Our value system dictates how we judge and consider what's good and what's bad in our community, in our cultures, in our society, in our families, in our relationships. They are something like unwritten rules that set the standards of behavior in our day-to-day life. And they can be influenced by our environment, by our upbringing, by our cultural religious beliefs. It can be molded by multiple different influences. So let's get into that. I am very excited about that. So everyone has their own core values, but we're heavily influenced by our environment once again. So that is one way to understand why we must take the time to evaluate. What do we stand on? What do we go by? Where do we draw the line and where do we cross the line? What and how are we willing to compromise ourselves, our integrity, and so forth? We need to have a better understanding of self in order to do this. And that starts with evaluating our own personal values and beliefs. So here we are looking into our own core values. Now, I want to give an analogy of the core values of someone that would grow up in a small town that resembles a village. They know everyone down the street and around the corner. They can go out and ask whoever for assistance when they are in trouble, and their values, religious and their culture views, everything will be different compared to someone who grew up in the inner city, who have to fend for themselves, who has different outlooks and was raised in a different environment other than the village type way. These two look differently. Their values will look differently. They will have some type of similarities depending on the culture and the people. But I assure you that both of their belief systems and values will be different. So what are the types of values? There are 4 types of values, and we can find in our environments. Each measure how a behavior benefits us and those who we interact with in our society, culture, community, relationships, family, and so forth. Functional values. Does this behavior or item provide a useful service to me? Monetary value. Does this behavior, or is this behavior capable of bringing me finances, provision? Social value. Does this behavior help me connect with others, or others connect with me? Is it in a positive or negative way? But we have social values. Psychological values. Does this behavior allow me to express myself, and does it allow me to be able to express myself clearly? Cultural values. Do people in my community share this value with me? Does it come with a shared custom or a shared religion or a shared ritual that is in between a group of people? The connection between beliefs and values. What does beliefs guide your values and how you conduct yourself? Again, let me say this. Your beliefs guide your values and how we conduct ourselves. Remaining committed to each and every one of our own personal beliefs can lead us to a form of values in the way that we live. Strong beliefs can turn into values, but not all values can translate into beliefs. Things like integrity and honesty, for example, are values that guide us in decision making in our life. But however, honesty isn't necessarily a belief system more than it is a personal value. Our values often don't influence our beliefs since they're more tangible. In actuality, our beliefs tend to inform our values. If we believe that all people are inherently good, our values are more likely to be centered around generosity, kindness, consideration. How does culture affect our beliefs and values? We often acquire our beliefs and values through our culture's reward or punishment system. When we go against society's values, how do we feel about that? We get ostracized for misbehaving or for not adhering to what's considered good or right for us. When you step out of the line or you cross the line, you may have experienced some of these things. As what society determines what is good for us, and as long as we behave in accordance with society values, we may be praised and rewarded, versus if we don't. Similarities and differences. Let's go over that really quickly, that the main similarities and differences between our beliefs and values. Beliefs are our assumptions about the world. Our values are how we attribute worth to our objects and our behaviors. Beliefs stems from our life's experience, of course. Spiritual learnings, our own personal cultures have a hand to play in our belief system. Our beliefs heavily influence our values. Beliefs can teeter into prejudice, and values can manifest in our prejudice. Beliefs affect our morals and values, and how we live our morals through behavior, character, and personality. So when we look at the similarities, external environments influence both beliefs and values. Beliefs and values influence our behaviors and how we experience the world. Both provide a shared sense of identity when it comes to our culture, our community, in society, in our relationships, personal identity. What I stand on, what I believe in, what are my values? Again, where I draw the line, how far I am willing to go, what I'm willing to sacrifice, and how I'm willing to sacrifice, and how are we willing to make our beliefs and values work for us? We acquire beliefs and values from the day we are born. We learn to treat others in a certain way. We might be encouraged to go to college or told to live in a certain lifestyle. But in reality, we don't have to follow the rules that are prescribed to us. As we meet people and gain new experiences, we might find a better path. You are not who the world says you are, and you don't have to believe what the world says you are. And that's picking up limiting beliefs about yourself. I'm incapable. I can't do it. I'm not qualified. I'm unlovable. I'm not worthy. These are all beliefs that you do not have to accept. I am worthy. I am qualified. I will do it. I will succeed. You can't stop me. You have to adopt a certain type of mindset, a certain type of values, a certain outlook, a certain perspective.
Hey, it's Director McGee. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification button for the next personal growth class notification.
All right. As we get into the last stretch of this lesson, working on our values and beliefs, just getting a better understanding of our own personal values and beliefs, that we can work through them and see where we need to adjust and where we need to grow. So let's get into it so we can finish up this lesson. Here's how we can live life per our own values and beliefs. Identify your core beliefs and values. Identifying what moral values are important to us compared to the people around us. Find our purpose and guide in our life's plan. So when we sit down and identify our moral values, what is important to us, and we look about at the people around us and how we can use these core values to aid others in our lives. How would these core values benefit us in our lives? We use these core values to find our purpose and guide us in our life's plan. Now, secondly, make a plan. What would our lives look like if we were in tune with our beliefs and values? Should I say, when we have answers, we can then plan how to get where we want to go. So right now we're doing a self-evaluation in our own personal growth. We worked on emotional intelligence. We worked on self-care. We worked on setting healthy boundaries. We worked on building our positive traits. We worked on our skills. We worked on stress management. Now we are heading into beliefs and values. So in a whole, we're working on our personal growth. Because there are some situations in our life that we face, circumstances, trials, and tribulations that will challenge your belief system and your values. Personal values. Because if you get into a bind, if you get into a deep enough struggle, when your back is against the wall and you don't have trouble on every side and you don't have anyone to turn to, but you are in trouble, are you going to compromise your beliefs and your values for your substance, for your need, for your situation? And a lot of us had to face these moral decisions, going against our moral beliefs or our moral values, because we felt like that was the only way. Coming from the streets, coming from the life, coming from environments that are unhealthy and incapable of allowing us to thrive, will cause us to challenge and go against our own values and beliefs actively. So when we take the time to evaluate ourselves, our belief system, and our values, we are preparing ourselves for these situations and circumstances. Where do I draw the line? Where do I cross the line? And where? Okay, so evaluating the consequences. If we make this change, how will others react? What will people in my community, society, family, any other environment think. What will I think about myself? That is the main one. What will I think about myself if I challenge my beliefs and values? What will I bring upon myself? Shame and other discouraging feelings. But that's not for God. I'm just giving you an example. So when we look at our beliefs and our values, we must evaluate the consequences to our actions, what they will bring upon us. Now, some changes will elicit a stronger reaction than others. We should decide if it's worth it to hold firm to our values or to cross the line. But only each and every one of us can determine what that line is for us. I can't determine it for anyone else. But I'm here to tell you that I have crossed many lines that I should not have crossed in my own life. I have let myself down in my values and in my beliefs in as many seasons in my life based off of my environment, circumstances, situations, struggles, trials, tribulations. So I'm here before you, not in a judgmental way, but in a free way, being honest, telling you that this is something that we all must evaluate and consider in a world that is running rapid with chaos. We're in a world where we are constantly challenged. We are constantly going up against adversity and going through obstacles. We must remember to hold true to our beliefs and our values, especially our core values. Okay, embracing your beliefs. It's not easy going against the grain, but it's possible. We can change our careers, prioritize our loved ones, or travel for a year before college, or after college, or later in life. We can go back to school later in life. As long as we have a realistic plan, we can set goals that are right for us and no one else. This is the battle of not being what the world says you are. This is the battle of not being who your family says you are, whether it's good or bad, but looking at yourself and growing into yourself and saying, I am going to direct a path for me. See, I am a spiritual person that stands on faith, so I am directing my path in what God wants for me, because he has already set forth a path for me. And when I went and tried to do it my own way, I lacked direction. I was all over the place. I had all these dreams and all these goals and all this ambition, but no direction, no plan, no goal. So whatever I chased, I was blindly chasing it. So until I aligned myself within my values, within my beliefs, whether it was cultural, spiritual, fundamental, psychological, I had to align all of them in the direction in which I wanted to go. And I had to discard the beliefs and the values that no longer suited me. When I believed that I wasn't enough, when I believed that I couldn't, when I believed that I wouldn't, when I believed that I was unworthy, I didn't do anything. But now that I have changed my values and I know I can and I know I will, and I know that anything that comes against me cannot stop me, I keep going. Because I'm standing in what I believe. I'm standing in my own beliefs and values. And how I get to where I want to go is based off of my values. So I wanted to speak to you all about embracing our beliefs and our values, adjusting them where we need to, cutting out the things that no longer suit us, and really honing in on what we need to grow and develop within our personal selves and our values and our goals. So go over the I am statement worksheet and go over your belief and values worksheets that we may discuss it later on this week on Thursday evening in our workshop about how our beliefs are motivating or discouraging us. how to work on our values. I thank you once again for this time, and I thank you all for coming to class today to work on your personal growth. Once again, I am your instructor, Dominique McGee. Please have a blessed day and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Tune in to next week's personal growth class where we are building better futures.